Hey guys, welcome to another Photoshop tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at how to make a silhouette image against the moonlight backdrop. So first of all, we're going to start on a new document. So if you click on the new button, enter a name for your new document. For the size, we're going to use a custom size. So in the width box, we're going to put 6,000 and we're going to make that pixels. So need to do that again, 6,000, and set the height to 6,000 as well. So this is going to be a square canvas, and then for resolution we'll keep that the same as 300. Click OK on that, and so our new document has popped up, and now we can play around on here. So the first thing we want to do is make some kind of colored background for this. To do that, we're going to use the gradient tool and make a gradient from light to dark. I've already set up the gradient I want, so I'm starting with a light orange and then moving on to a darker orange. So if I click OK on that one, and then we got the background layer here, but we don't necessarily need to use that. We can just make a new layer and get rid of that background, and we'll start with a blank canvas. You could just go straight over the background, but so starting from the bottom on this, I'm going to hold down the shift key, and that will allow me to keep the gradient line straight. So I've left clicked on the mouse button, and I'm just dragging the cursor upwards to the top, and then when I let go I will create my gradient. Once we've done that, we need to go ahead and start placing some images down. So I've included links to the images you need in the description on this YouTube video. So if you want to grab them, they're all online, but they should all be okay to use in these kind of projects. I did check beforehand, so you should be good to use them commercially. Modify them if you want to, just do whatever you want. But also there might be rules on giving attribution to the user, so make sure to do that if it says so on there. Guys, right then, so first of all we need to find the clouds image. So we're going to go to place embedded, which is under the file menu, and if we go to there, now we need to find these images of clouds, which I should have somewhere. So we've got some clouds here. We'll grab that, and they're a little bit tiny at the moment, teeny tiny ones. So let's drag it out. I'm holding shift as I drag that corner. That allows me to keep the proportions as they should be. If I didn't do that, then I'd end up with something really funky like this. So I'll just reset that and then go back up. Need to move it around a bit. It looks a bit blocky and horrible at the moment, but that should get better when I've pressed on the tick button. So I'm going to leave a bit of a rectangle at the bottom. We will be using that area soon anyway, so there's no need to cover it up with the clouds. So once you've done that, you can click on the commit transform, that little tick there, or you can press the enter key on your keyboard, and that will do it for you. Now that we've done the clouds, we can move on. Actually, we still need a couple more bits to do on these clouds. We need to set the saturation right down. It's pretty saturated at the moment. Desaturated at the moment, but we can do a little bit more to that. So do Control U or Command U, whatever you need to do. And then just desaturate. Don't saturate because that'll look really strange. Just desaturate to -100 and then click OK. The next step is to set the opacity of the clouds down. So set it to around 60% opacity there. Now once you've done that, we can finally move on to the next part of this tutorial. We can move on to adding some more super fun images. So next go to File, Place Embedded, and grab your moon image. Okay, and then let's move that around wherever we want to put it. Actually, I've got a specific place I'm going to put it, which is down here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, if I can speak properly. Commit that, press enter or click on a tick, whatever you want. Then now we got this big black background going on here, so you know what we're going to do. We need to just have a moon, not a black background. That's going to ruin our other background, you know, we won't be able to see it. So we got these blending modes here, and there's a very useful one for these kind of backgrounds. There's the screen blending mode, which is kind of the opposite to the multiply blending mode. If you click on screen, then it'll keep all the lighter parts of this image and remove the darkest of the darkest. So if it's darker on this layer, then it will be removed. If it's lighter on this layer, then it will be kept. Okay, so we'll click on that, and voila, the black background has disappeared. Okay, so if I move that into more position, it's quite useful to use that screen mode before you actually start moving things around, and then you can see where you want to put it. Okay, so I'm just going to put it down here, and you know we're going to be using this part later anyway, so you won't be seeing this bottom part of the moon. That's it for that one, I think. Yeah, okay, the only part we're going to do next is we're going to duplicate that moon layer. I press Ctrl J, I probably should tell you that, and that's made a duplicate of the moon layer. And now I want to move it up here, and then go to Edit, Free Transform, and make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so wherever we are, we're going to have two moons. I might make it even more smaller, and then commit that one. Okay, so we've got two moons there. I might put them in a folder, or a group, I should say. So I selected both of them using Shift on the keyboard and left clicking on the mouse. So that selects both of them, and then I can just press on the group icon, and that will put them inside that group. And I can double click on there and call it moon. Okay, so that's good. The next stage is to, I want to set down the opacity of the small moon a bit, make it a little bit more subtle in the background there, and then I can collapse that and move on to the next part. Okay, so the next part we're going to do is place the tree image. So if you go to File, Place Embedded, and then grab the tree image there, so select that, click on Place, or double click on it, that works as well. So we'll make the tree image a bit bigger, and we'll put it in the corner here. Make it a bit bigger still, maybe that's too big. Okay, right, I'm going to put it about here somewhere. Okay, and then I might stretch it up a bit actually, or I don't know. See, I want to go careful about how I place this tree, because I need to have the girl swinging from one of the branches somehow. So yeah, I think I'm going to try it about there, and if it all goes totally wrong, I shall change it in a bit. Now the one thing is going on here is I got too many branches, so it's just covering the whole, well, half of my image. So I'm going to add a layer mask to this tree layer. Now bear in mind at the moment the tree layer is on the smart object, so I can't change it directly unless I convert it or rasterize it. So anyway, I'm going to paint in some black here, and that will erase or mask off some of these branches. I might grab a hard brush actually, otherwise it's just too soft. Of course it would be if it wasn't hard. So going to make the brush a bit smaller, and then get rid of some of these branches. I put a couple of little dots in here, or that doesn't look like a very realistic kind of gap in the branches. There you go. Okay, so now our tree looks a little bit on the weird side. I think I'm going to have to add a new blank layer. I'll do that down here on this icon. And I've got my paintbrush. I just want to change this. Okay, so I loaded the calligraphy set of brushes. You can do that by clicking on this cog here and just pressing on that calligraphic brushes option there, and you can choose to load it up, and then you'll have them appear. And so they're quite useful for what we're doing. So I'm going to select a little baby one now, and I've got the black color chosen. And so I'm going to make that a bit bigger, and then I'm just going to paint in some more branches here. And I'm no expert on painting, so this could go terribly wrong. We shall see. I just want to make sure it doesn't look too much, make it look different to the rest of the tree. Want it to make it look like I never did a thing, which isn't going too well. Okay, so it's a bit of a rush job, I'm sorry about that. But there we have some more branches. So if I get rid of that, you can see what I've done there and how it differs, because you could say, well, you have branches, then you got rid of branches, then you put more branches in there. What's the game? Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. But if you look at the difference between where the branches were majorly in my face, and these ones aren't quite so in my face. Okay, so that was the difference. Okay, so the next step we want to do is to fill in this little area here, which is a bit strange looking at the moment. If we grab I've totally forgotten what it's called, the rectangle tool, that makes sense. Now take a look up here, we got a fill which is black, that's what we want, but if you're doing something different, or you want it to be different, then you could change the color here. We don't really need to have a stroke, so we could turn that off if that's what you want to do. And then we'll just left click, mouse button, and drag the rectangle across, and we can cover this whole entire area, it doesn't matter, and then release. And then there we have it, our rectangle down the bottom there. And so, okay, if we press the V key and move on to the move tool, we can continue to work on the image. Now we'll go ahead and place the girl on the swing. Okay, so if we go to File and Place Embedded Image there. Okay, move that around, and there we go. Just place that down there. And then commit that. Okay, now you can see the problem we have here, can't you? She's not connected to anything, she's gonna fall down. If we add a new layer, this time we'll grab the pen tool. Okay, now make sure this is set on path, and just put a little dot there, and then just somewhere up in the tree area, just put another dot, but hold down the left mouse button and then just drag out this curve. Okay, so you can go quite far with that, and just make it line up with the rest of the girl. See where she's holding on to the other part of the rope or whatever it is. Just try and make it line up. Mine's not quite lined up right, but you get the idea. Oops, I didn't show you what to do there. Now right click on the path and then select stroke path. Okay, now you should be able to use the brush tool without any problem. So just click OK, and then voila, you have your path stroked. You can delete that. And I'm just going to grab the girl swinging layer and move it slightly. Oh, it's moved too far down. I'm going to use the arrow keys and just realign that. So that's that part done. Now we can move on to adding a little bit of extra flair in here. Now I should have provided a link to where you can get hold of some grass brushes on DeviantArt. So if you load up those grass brushes, then you can go to your brush down there and select grass. So I've already loaded mine. If you need to load it up, you should get them appearing in here. Okay, so then grab some of the grass. Now don't stick with just one. Hold on, I need to make a new layer. Okay, a new layer. I'm going to call that grass so I don't get confused later on and wonder what's on there. Okay, so now just paint the grass, just click once and then it'll be on there, okay? And then just keep doing that, but don't just use one grass brush, just keep changing it up. So use another grass brush and just keep putting more in. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing this. You can watch if you want because it's lots of fun. So try some directional grass. It must be windy there, and do some in the other direction. Whoops. What's this one? It's got some detailed grass here. Okay, so just keep filling this up with grass. And we got all different kinds of grass. All different kinds of grass going on. So it looks more natural, if you could call anything in this image natural, then the grass would be it. You might want to do a bit more grass, but I'm happy with that. So, okay, next step is to go to File, Place Embedded, and then grab hold of the dog image. Okay, so we're going to place this dog image. Now, oh no, what are we going to do? It's yeah, got a background. Okay, so this is going to be a bit different to our other ones where we don't have to remove backgrounds, so it's going to be fun. Okay, so I'm going to use the quick selection tool, which is this one here. You'll see, quick selection tool, W on the keyboard, Shift W if you had the magic wand selected before that. And so if we drag across and try and cover up as much of the dog area as possible. And I've already messed this up a little bit, so, oh god, no. So it's just a case of selecting as much as possible with the quick selection tool and then looking at all the boo-boos you've made. So if you've done a bad job like I have, then you need to start pressing the Alt key, or I think that's Option key on a Mac, but I could be wrong. And then that will remove some of the selection based on where you're dragging your mouse cursor. Okay, so and a bit more up here. So hold down the Alt key and push it back. Now you don't need to be super accurate with this because it's going to be quite far off and no one will notice. That's like you just want to get the shape. There's a little bit there which has gone into that fence. Just basically, oh, a little bit more there. Basically. Okay, now click on Refine Edge up here, and then go to Smart Radius. Just put a check in there, and then work on that. Drag that up a bit. You can just paint some of this part in and move it around. Should hopefully do a half decent job. Okay, I think that will do for that. So if we OK on there, then add a mask. Okay, so now we've got our dog selected out of that background. So the dog's a bit too big at the moment, so it's also facing the wrong way. So we go to free transform and then hold down the shift key whilst making the dog a whole lot smaller. Okay, right click inside that square box and then select flip horizontal. That will turn him round. Make a bit smaller. I think that's about enough there. Okay, I might try and turn him so he's kind of looking up a bit in wonder. Eventually the legs will be hidden anyway. We don't need to worry about that. So just now grab a hue saturation adjustment layer, clip to the dog layer, okay, by clicking on this one, and then set the lightness down as far as it'll go. Okay, and then voila, that's made our dog into a silhouette. And I'm just going to move him down a bit more. There we go. So the final thing to just give this image a bit more interest is to add the stars. So I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded, and grab the stars image. And I'm basically going to whack this all the way up to here. Maybe just move it along there a bit. And then commit that by pressing enter, or that little tick. Okay, and then we're going to change the blending mode of that again to screen. And that's got rid of a lot of the background there. So next we'll add a layer mask. Okay, we'll add a layer mask and then we will paint in some black. So at the moment I got a grass brush selected, so I need to grab a normal brush. Oops. Grab a normal brush and then paint away some of these stars. I might make the brush a bit softer. There we go. And then just get rid of stars that are in front of trees or in front of areas that you don't really think the stars should be. Okay, and there we go. There's our silhouette image. So you can have fun with it, make a different style of image, you know, tidy up these stars a bit because they're not looking great at the moment, but I'd expect you to do a much better job than I just did. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like these tutorials, then please could you comment, like or subscribe, and I'll catch you again later. Bye bye.